Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is the enemy of my enemy is not necessarily my friend. I know you've heard it. The enemy of my enemy must be my friend, but I'm going to talk about today that it's not necessarily our friend, or you could say it another way. Ukraine pulls off the mask. You've heard it said, you can't keep a good man down. Well, I add to that saying, and you can't hide a bad one. In other words, when there's a bad apple in the bunch, it's just a matter of time before it comes to the surface and everybody discovers it. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. First of all, I don't have anything against Ukraine. It's just that everything I read about them, and I'm going to talk about that today, is they're a bad apple. They are the bad apple in the bunch. At least ever since the Russia-Ukraine war started, Fast Gap has been praying that, one, Trump will walk away from supporting Ukraine. Trump will pull all support from Ukraine, so I was very happy to hear that if Ukraine did not sign the agreement by Thanksgiving, that America was going to pull out all support and walk away, and I thought, excellent, Trump, excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, if you watch the news, they make out Ukraine to be this wonderful nation that the big old mean Russian bears come over and attack, and that's not true. Oh, surely the news would not lie to us. Yes, they will. Also, that will not make any security guarantees. We don't want America to make any security guarantees. We don't want any boots or equipment or American blood on Ukraine's soil. I am praying that Trump simply walks away. And whatever happens between Russia and Ukraine happens, not our problem. Leave nothing that can get America involved with attacking Russia. I think that there is an agreement between Russia and Ukraine that Russia will attack Ukraine until America finally comes to the rescue and does something, and they will both work together to get America to do something so that Russia can do the prophesied attack on America and destroy America in 1 hour. See, because Russia can't just do that. Sure, she can, but she can't. She can attack and destroy us right now all in 1 hour. But she can't, because then all the nations would turn against Russia and destroy her, which is ultimately what happens. As you recall, the angel speaking to Dmitri said, then God will raise up China, Japan, and many of the nations. They'll go against the Russians. They'll defeat the Russians. They'll back the Russians to the gates of Paris where they sign a peace treaty. But they make the Russians their leader. With the Russians as the leader, which kind of tells you a good place to watch for the Antichrist to come from, all the world goes down to attack little Israel. Israel can't count on the help of the Jews in America. Why? Because America's already been destroyed. So she cries for Messiah. Jesus returns in the clouds and defeats the armies of the earth, and that's Armageddon. So I'm praying, and all of our Fast Track team is praying, Fast Gap team is praying that America walks away and does not support Ukraine. We pray that Trump will begin to remove sanctions against Putin and Russia and make some good business deals with Russia, and Trump and Putin will have a good relationship. Again, like you've heard it said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So Russia is a longtime enemy of America. When I talked with Stanislav Lunev way back in 1998, when we had him in to talk about him being a part of a team smuggling and hiding some 50 suitcase nukes in America, he told me, Stan, he said, you understand, the whole point, the reason Russia was formed was to balance or to overcome America. And that's what they teach in all the schools, that the objective of Russia is to destroy America. So we do have a request. We're asking you to join in and subscribe so you can help us to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers by January 1. And you just click subscribe to whatever channel or means you're watching it. Also, yes, we are starting to get some help. I need $12,000 to print the new book, Pentecost Rapture of the Bride. And if you'll help us with $500 or more, then I will send you a personally autographed and numbered copy of the book when it is printed. Now, I just got an update from the lady that lays all of the text out. She's all got it all done. She's only waiting on the ISBN number, and our office is working on that. We expect to get that to them today. So that means probably I can send it to the printers tomorrow. The printers say that in roughly 30 days, that would put it roughly around January 1, we're going to be able to send it out to you. But I need $12,000 to print the thing. Now, here's what the book is about. The correct order of all end-time events must agree with the feasts. Why? Because the feasts are the pattern. They are the layout, the order for the last days events, and that's what my book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, is all about, and all of the charts in the back and everything, which, by the way, this book will have all the charts in the back of it, too. So you'll be able to see all of that and help you to understand it. Anyway, here's what happened. So I received a revelation showing me that the Feast of Pentecost is the marriage feast. How do you know? Well, you go to Exodus 19:1, and it says, in the third month. Well, what happened? The only feast in the third month is Pentecost. That's when God spoke audibly to the children of Israel, saying, if you'll be my people, I will be your God. And they said, whatsoever God says, we will do. So they said, I will. Then the second marriage was in the upper room when the Holy Spirit came in, sat on the people there. Tongues of fire were on every one of them. That was the marriage of the church to the Holy Spirit. Now, the third one will happen at the marriage supper of the Lamb. That happens on the last Pentecost. When the bombs come down, we go up. I know, for 25 years I've been adamant. It's post-trib. Well, I mean, a revelation from God can change anybody's mind, and it changes mine. I saw in an instant for 25 years I have misunderstood it, and now I've got a book on it. So anyway, the final marriage is when the bombs come down, we go up and we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, which is about 4 months before Jesus returns for Armageddon. Now, other people, my friends, have sent the book out to get their opinion. They've all said, of course, it's simple. I don't know why I didn't see this before. And when you see it all laid out, you slap your forehead and say, of course, this is not even complicated. It has to be this way. And it is. Anyway, 1 for $20, but don't do that. We're offering them in shrink wrap sets of 10. So you can give the other 9 away. Shrink wrap sets of 10 for a gift of $35, and you can place your pre-order. Then as soon as they come in, we'll ship them out to you. prophecyclub.com. Also, I just checked, and they are still offering this extra 25% off. So if you want to get one of these, get my cup out of the way. These goes on your car and also on your house. And that way, if there's an EMP, like suitcase nuke or something like that was off near you, the plan is that this stops this. Now, if you use the promo code PROPHECY, get you a $50 discount on each one of them. But right now, I just checked, it's still up. I can't guarantee it's going to be up tomorrow. But right now, you get an additional 25% off. EMPShield.com, promo code PROPHECY. EMPShield.com, promo code PROPHECY. And if you are wanting to get gold, silver, rhodium, or palladium, then Prophecy Club Gold or 800-200-GOLD is where we'll send you to. If you want to get crypto, prophecyclubcrypto.com. Okay, enough of that. Now, let's get on to today's program. I know the news is telling you, oh, those poor little Ukrainians. They're lying to you. Oh, surely the news would not lie to you. Oh, yes. They do all the time. So years ago, somebody sent this to me, and I spent an evening reading this site. And I think if you'll go there, and that's the reason I'm giving you the time to pause and write down that address. I think if you just go to the millenniumreport.com, you can probably find it, but it gives you the whole thing there. If you'll go read this, you will find your mouth dropping open saying, oh, so Ukraine is not the innocent little good nation. Matter of fact, that thing that Zelensky wears over his heart, that is actually a Moloch symbol. That's a picture of the bull, which is Moloch, the molten calf. When Moses came down off of the mountain, he saw them worshiping the molten calf. The name of the calf is Moloch. Other places in the Bible calls it Baal, two A's, Baal. And that's what these people do. And they're also called the Khazarian Mafia, deep state, a lot of different names. Ashkenazis, which is where we get the word Nazi. Now, if you go to the internet, if you look that up, man, I saw side after side after side saying, no, Nazi has nothing to do with Khazarian or with Ashkenazi. Oh, yes, it does. They're lying to you. Surely we wouldn't believe a lie, would we? Okay, anyway, on to the next point. So this is straight from HalTurnerRadioShow.com. Now, Stan, why do you always use HalTurnerRadioShow.com as a reference? Because he has the best stuff in terms of Bible prophecy. Now, the problem is, apparently he's not a prophecy student because he doesn't see this like a prophecy student does. Well, that's my job. My job is to tell you what's happening in the world and how it relates to Bible prophecy. So I think that this guy right here is a bad guy. I think most of Ukrainians, now not all of them, of course, there's Christians there, there's good people there. Anyway, let me get to the point here. He says extortion has started. Well, see, extortion, that's the devil's plan. Just like for 43 days, the Dems extorted Trump and the Republicans saying, well, you're going to give us what we want or we're going to shut down the government. That's extortion. If you don't give me what I'm going to want, I'm going to do something bad to you. Well, that's what devils do, and that's what Ukraine is doing. So this is proof positive what I've been saying. Ukraine and its leaders are not the good guys. Says Volodymyr Zelensky has reportedly told the Trump administration that he will not tolerate Ukraine being abandoned by the United States. You have to send us money. You have to help us. Why? Because they want to see America get involved. They want to see Russia attack and destroy America in 1 hour. You can't abandon by the United States. And if the U.S. stops flow of arms and aid, Zelensky reported, he said, I will blow the whistle on every legal thing that I know the U.S. has done wrong, creating a political and legal disaster for the United States and for President Trump. If you don't support me, I'm going to tattle on you. I'm going to tell you what you did last summer. That type of deal, okay? It appears Zelensky is now resorting to what some people might call extortion. That's exactly what you call it. Extortion to get what he wants. There's an emergency national security meeting today at 5 p.m., and probably Venezuela is going to be on there. But the big deal is probably, I'm sure they'll be talking about Ukraine too. Now, on to the next part. Here's further confirmation. See, Ukraine is threatening the United States. If you don't give us support, if you don't send us money, we're going to be a bad guy. Well, they're already bad guys. They're just doing what bad guys do, and I think Trump should just walk away and say, forget it. Russia, have at it. Do what you want to do. We're pulling out. The article says, Russian sunflower oil tanker attacked in Black Sea. A Russian tanker carrying sunflower oil to Georgia was attacked by Ukrainian drones. Ukraine attacked a tanker. Why? Because they're trying to get America to support them. Why? So that they can give Russia a reason to attack and destroy America in 1 hour. The attack took place in the Turkish waters of the Black Sea. Turkish officials all report 13 crew members safe. The ship isn't severely damaged and is still en route to Georgia. Kyiv, losing on the battlefield, is begging for a distraction. This morning's attack comes after at least 3 other, which we're going to cover, 3 other tanker vessels were attacked in the past few days. That's extortion. That proves my point that Ukraine and the leadership are the bad guys. So they're saying, well, if you don't give us what we want, then we're going to do this and such. We're going to expose you. We're going to tell all your bad things. Well, look, if there was anything bad about Trump, the Democrats would have already found it. So good luck, Ukraine. Bring it on, would be my response. But there's more. Off the coast of Turkey, another vessel, the Virat, was struck by sea drones, also from Ukraine, suffered explosions and fire. The vessel is listed on a Ukrainian website as allegedly being part of Russia's shadow fleet of oil tankers used by Russia to evade economic sanctions. This is all part of their threats. If you don't give us what we want, we're going to do something bad to you. That's straight out of the devil's playbook. Turkish rescue crews arrived, put out the vast fire, and rescued all crew members. Another vessel, the Kairos, also in the Black Sea, by near the mouth of the Bosphorus Strait, reportedly struck a sea mine that same day, November 28th, and was initially on fire and sinking. Apparently, the vessel has been saved. Again, Ukraine. A third oil tanker, the Mersin, was struck off the coast of Senegal off of Africa and was clearly sinking. Ukraine is now attacking civilian commercial vessels, claiming they're all somehow involved with helping Russia. Turkish President Recep Erdogan said that the war between Russia and Ukraine has reached a point where it clearly threatens security in the Black Sea. Targeting commercial ships in our exclusive economic zone on Friday signals a worrying escalation. In other words, United States, we have control of you. We have you around the neck. You will help us, or we're going to do this and such. So, Trump, if you're listening, if you take my advice, walk away. Walk away. You said that if they didn't sign the agreement by Thursday, Thanksgiving, that you were going to walk away, stop all support. I think you ought to do exactly what you promised. You should walk away and let Ukraine do what Russia's going to do. Let them fall. Walk away. If you don't, then when we go down and hit Venezuela, I say when, and apparently we are, then Russia and China is going to come to their help. But if you've walked away from Ukraine, my guess is Russia will not then be behind Venezuela to support them. And wouldn't that be wonderful if they also weren't going to back up Cuba, and we could do the same thing to Cuba and get capitalistic leadership in both of those countries. Okay, let's go on. U.S. cuts off communication with Germany. Now, German military. Now, this is interesting, and you got to see the direction this is coming from. The Pentagon has cut off communication with Germany's defense ministry. Reports coming out of Germany confirm that the Pentagon has halted its working level contacts with Germany's defense ministry. What's going on? I think it's Trump backing up exactly what he said he was going to do. If you don't sign that agreement, that 28-point agreement between Russia and Ukraine, if you don't sign it by Thanksgiving, we're walking away. To me, this is telling me this is some of the steps, walking away, including communication related to Ukraine. The Atlantic reports, citing German Lieutenant General Christian Fruding, says that he used to text his American counterparts day and night, but now the communication has been severed, really cut off. So good for you, Trump. Walk away. And if Germany wants to go over and help them, I think we'd say we don't support it and walk away from Germany. If they want to go fight the Russians, have at it, but we're not having a part of it. That is my opinion. Washington has simply stopped responding. Good for you, Trump. That's what you should be doing. No word yet as to why. On the surface, it is clear Germany wants to keep the Ukraine war going. The U.S. wants to end it. Therefore, it appears to many observers that the U.S. will make sure that Germany doesn't spoil their foreign strategy. Hal Turner analysis. After repeated bold comments by European leaders of America being a threat, this was long coming. There's also the fact that Washington is convinced European officials will leak whatever intel that they have to slow down a peace deal in Eastern Europe. See, it's not just Ukraine and Russia trying to get America into this war so that Russia can attack and destroy America. A lot of people want to see the Christian nation destroyed. Washington distrusts Europe. Good for you. When day-to-day military coordination goes silent, something bigger is shifting in the background. Well, hopefully, we're walking away from Ukraine. And if we will do what Trump said, and in the past, he's done what he said he's going to do. Okay, so if he does what he says he's going to do, it's going to bring a screeching halt to that Russia-Ukraine war, and it'll get us out of it. I don't think we should have any kind of security guarantees, No bombs, no bullets, no blood, nothing. No billions, nothing going to Ukraine. Walk away. Walk away. The rise and fall of the political parties, new third party gains ground. Now, I want to talk about this a second. I've got just a minute more. Right now, in my opinion, from everything I see, and from everything I see, it appears to me that the Democrat Party has got themselves into the quicksand and they are sinking rapidly. They continue to support the wrong things, the wrong ways, and we continue to see their popularity drop and drop and drop. I think that and I've been thinking this for a while, and this particular prophecy by John Paul Jackson continues to come up in my spirit. The rise and fall of the political parties, a new third party gains ground. What are we seeing right now? We're seeing the Democrat Party going crash, burn. And we're seeing a new socialist party rise. This is Zoran Mondami, and then there's 2 or 3 other people. I think there's 3 other people. Matter of fact, the lady that is running against the mayor for Washington, D.C., I'll get her name in a minute. She says she is a democratic socialist. So that's the new party. This is only one of the new headlines I think we're going to be seeing. I think that this John Paul Jackson was hearing from God on these headlines. I think that we're going to see a whole lot more democratic socialists. That's the new word. That's the new catchphrase. Because a lot of people walking away from the Democrat Party because it's just so corrupt. It's so far left. It's so far that even good Americans that are not Christians that used to vote Democrat can't vote Democrat anymore. But I bet they're going to start voting Democrat Socialist, which it's just a different chapter out of the same playbook of the devil, but it's not going to do well. Again, our nation. And, I hate to see our nation fall. I really do. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, even I have to turn off the news. Sometimes I have to get away from this and just chill. But this is my call. There will be a day, just like the Lord told me in an audible voice, when those prophecies, I gave your wife, begin to come to pass, people from all directions who begin to turn and listen to your ministry. Those prophecies are in all 5 of the books that I've written, all of them. Omer ushers in Palestinian state, all of that. It's all in there. And when that first headline is found in a newspaper, and it will, when it first hits the newspaper, Omer ushers in Palestinian state is my guess to be the first one. It might not be. We don't know the order. But then all of a sudden people will start listening. And then we're going to start sending them to those books. And I think those books are going to sell like hotcakes. I think that there'll be a time we're having big meetings in sports stadiums and bring in truckloads of those books. And I look for the day when we can just give them away. Books, free, go to the book table, get you some books. Only what you can read or carry out in your hands, not sacks full, but I don't know, maybe I'll even give them sacks full. The whole point here, just like I prayed today, again, I said, Lord, what do you want to say on the program today? It's not my kingdom. It wasn't my blood. It is your program, your prophecy club, your information to give your people, to build your kingdom. What do you want to say? It's all his. And that's the reason when we get to heaven, when we come out of time into eternity, when we can look back and see what Jesus did, I for one, and I think all of us will, we're going to all fall on our face. We're going to cast our crowns at his feet, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power. For thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. We're going to say, I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. You did it. We're going to see things we thought we did was all his. I mean, just like I remember the time, this was, my wife and I have been married 42 years. This is probably 38 or 40 years ago, a long time ago. But I was upset with Leslie. You can't imagine I would ever do that, could you? And man, the Lord spoke to my heart. And he said, I gave her to you. I thought, that's right. He did. Because there's no way a knucklehead like me could have landed a prize like Leslie. I know I married above myself. Matter of fact, I'll tell you another little story. So the very first time I introduced Leslie, we were just dating at the time, to my boss and his wife. And we were probably an hour after we'd been talking and visiting. She walked up to me, and right here I can still show you the spot. She grabbed me, and you know that skin right there, I mean, it's real tender. She grabbed and she pushed in, and she twisted, and she wrinkled her face up. She got right in my face. She says, she's too good for you. And I went, ow, I know. She says, you be good to her, or you'll answer to me. Well, I never had to answer to her. God did it all. We think we did that. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. 20,000 souls Prophecy Club was able to bring into the kingdom from 1993 to in the ballpark of around 2000. I didn't do it. He gave me those souls. He gave me those souls to present to him. And he's going to give us a bunch more. We're going to sports stadiums. We're going to find oil in Israel. Remember my disclaimer, can't guarantee we're ever going to drill for or hit oil in Israel. Fly people to Israel. Sports stadiums filled with people. How many people do you know have been to Noah's Ark? How many people do you know have been inside the tomb and can show you the archaeological evidence as to why Gordon's Calvary really is the tomb of Jesus? How many people do you know that have been to both the entry and the exit points at the Red Sea? How many people can say they have been up inside the rock that's about 6 stories tall, split in 3 places, where Moses struck the rock and water came out? How many people have been to the second location where he big hole the size of a Volkswagen in the side of a big rocky mountain where a whole river of water, oil too, water came out? How many people have been to Mount Sinai? How many people have climbed Sinai? I've been to all that. Why? Well, it's not because I was curious. It's all the hand of God. Because one of these days we'll be standing in sports stadiums, and there's going to be a lot of people up there been taught that they came from monkeys. They graduated from the zoo, or they graduated from the goo. They went to the zoo, and now they're you. Okay, they've been taught some garbage. And there has to be someone that can say, like I can hold up balls of sulfur that I picked up at Sodom and Gomorrah. And when I can say, I went to Israel, I did not drill, I prophesied to the land, it shook, and oil flowed into previously dry holes. Do you think that that'll get some people listening? I do. I think the day is going to come when a lot of people thought Stan Johnson Prophecy Club had a hole in their head. Well, as a matter of fact, September 30th, I can't believe I'm saying all this. September 30th, 1994, Kevin Fundervist prophesied to Leslie and I. And part of what he prophesied was this. He said, the time is going to come when people will come and repent before you, saying, I did not see how God was in what you were doing, but now I see. And he says, and your greatest critics will become your biggest supporters. The day is going to come when those books are flying out to everybody. The day is going to come when Dimitri's message is now not just in the prophecies, and it's not just the newspaper headlines, it's blood of the streets. And I've been carrying that message since 1987. Yeah, I keep for 7 or 8. Some 40 some odd years, one of these days is going to come to pass. And all of the people through these years that heard me say that, I think the Holy Spirit is going to bring it to their memory. And say, wait. I've heard this before. Where did I hear this? And they're going to return to Prophecy Club, and they're going to realize, no, Stan Johnson wasn't crazy. He didn't have a hole in his head. God raised him up. I did nothing. I'll cast my crowns at his feet. I did nothing. But God is arranging, not just me, but you. He wants you to be a part of a great soul winning plan. So I encourage you to stick with Prophecy Club. I encourage you to support us. Help us. Help us. I mean, I shouldn't be in a bind. I should be able to not have to look at a bill when I pay it. Decide. As a matter of fact, I just got an email from a bookkeeper who said, "Can I pay this bill?" And I had to say, "No, no, still, let's just give it a few more days." And that happens often, but I don't care. I'm not quitting. Matter of fact, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'll tell you another story. So I did not make note of the day, but it was probably somewhere in 2003, somewhere in there. I was very frustrated because of lack of money. Couldn't pay the bills, seemed like always been. Okay. I remember I got out of bed and I was pulling on my shoes. As I pulled on my shoes, I talked to God and He heard me. I said, God, I said, I think I'm done with this Prophecy Club. I thought long and hard. I said, no, I think I'm done. I think I'm done fighting the fight. We never seem to have enough money. It's just people don't believe me. They don't support me. And I said, I don't have to do this. I was making pretty good money before I came into this. And I said, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to, maybe go back and do what I used to do or something. But I think I think I'm done. And I was serious. And I said, so I think I'll just start to kind of ease out of Prophecy Club and start doing something else. I got to the office 8 o'clock, but about 9 o'clock, I started to say his name, but I better not say his name. Good friend of mine, the fella that I hired and trained in the public speaking, sales course, management course, training field. Okay, did that for 13 years. I hired him and I trained him. He came walking in my office, like, talk to you a minute. I said, okay. He said, they just came up with a new deal. He says, now there can be a franchise owner as a partnership. And he says, I've just been given, I started to tell you what state, but I shouldn't say what state. He'd been given 2 states, actually, large states. And he says, and I want you to be my partner. And he says, and if you'll do it, I'll start you off at this amount, guaranteed, which was nice. I knew. I knew God heard me when I got out of the bed that morning. I knew when I was pulled on my shoes, He was listening. What I did not know is He had arranged for my friend to drive in from Oklahoma City, where he lived, all the way down to Topeka, Kansas at the time where I was living, for this particular job offer. He arranged for him to be there. He already knew that I was going to pose quitting Prophecy Club. And so I knew, okay, this is real serious, Stan. What he's basically saying, you want out of Prophecy Club? You wanted the ministry? There you go. I'll open the door. You go right back to doing what you used to do, making more money. Go ahead. You want to do that? Go. So I looked at my friend and I said, well, first of all, let me say thank you very much. This is one of the greatest compliments I think I've ever got. I said, but I think I'll say no, and I'll ask you not to ask again. And he got mad. Matter of fact, he has not, I've called him a couple of times. He won't return my calls, won't have anything to do with me, nor anyone else in that industry. So I'm like blackballed. And after he walked out, I told the Lord, said, no, I'm sorry. I repent. I will do the Prophecy Club to the end of my life. And if I have to starve to death, this is what I want to do. From now on, this is what, as a matter of fact, I can't believe I'm saying all this. Probably get us at the end of the program. Most people are turned away by now. I said, it's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I believe I'm called. I believe you're called. Now, there's a difference being called and chosen. Michael Bublé was chosen. He didn't have a choice. He didn't want to be in the ministry, but God has chosen him to be in the ministry. I think I'm called, and probably you're called. Means the phone's ringing, you pick it up, and God will say, I'm sending you into the vineyard. And maybe you go, maybe you don't go. I think I have a choice. I don't have to do this. I could go do something else. I want to do this. And it's difficult, but I do not know an easy way to win a lot of souls. I do not know an easy way. Matter of fact, when Prophecy Club first, I can't believe I'm talking this much. Prophecy Club first started, I thought, yeah, boy, they really like this because this is truth. If you think people want to hear truth, you are very deceived. You are very misinformed. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear smooth things, patted on the back. For where is the promise of his coming? For since our fathers fell asleep, all things remain the same as they were. Anyway, I've talked way too much today. I say all this to encourage you. If you're watching Prophecy Club, especially if you watch this far, you are called. You are a watchman. And you can't give up. You can't walk away. And if you are so blessed to be called into a full-time position to serve, by all means, do it. I think I should shut my mouth now and go. God bless you.